Make sure everything's up and running and going right. Looks like we are. But yeah, we're getting back into our hobby time, working on our dreadnought and trying to remember where we left off at. Fortunately, I ended in a good spot, so it shouldn't be too difficult to figure out. But now there's a lot more pieces to cut out, so this is what we ended up with on the last stream. Off camera, I did a little bit more work on it. I drilled the ends of the barrels a little bit before painting, just because it makes it look nicer. Got most of the upper body assembled, drilled my barrels, did a little bit more cleanup all around on it. So we're definitely ready to move on to the next part. So the next thing we're going to be working on here is the dreadnought's legs, looks like. So we'll get to snipping out new pieces. So move some of this mess out of the way. Good evening, how's everyone doing? Flip my clippers around so I cut this properly. Wow. Okay, so I need that piece. I think that was 37. And now I need to find piece 38. I was just messaging back and forth with another TikToker a couple minutes ago, just getting into the hobby. He went and checked out some of his other videos, and he seemed a little overwhelmed at all the gray plastic pieces on the sprue. But that's where you got to start on these guys. Alrighty, here's the other piece. Let's get this nipped out of here real quick. Hopefully there won't be any glaringly wonky spots on this. Alright. Basically, this is the dreadnought's waist and hips that we have just cut out. We'll work on smoothing mold lines and sprue connections. But just trying to get the plastic nice and smooth. Even though, like, most of these points will be covered up, so you will never see them, but still. I like having a nice cleaned up mini. So I can't really complain too much about these sprue connections, but I do often be like, why? Why would you put a sprue connection there? So hard to clean up. It looks goofy. And some of them just like just this massive connection, and you have this giant blob that you have to shave off. or sand off. Some people use files, and I mean, I use files and little sanding sticks and whatnot. But for most of my cleanup work, I just use the edge of the X-Acto blade. They do make a special like mold line remover tool. But that's an extra tool that you have to buy, and the edge of your X-Acto knife works just as well for cleaning that stuff up. But we are working on getting this guy put together for my Black Templar army, because Templars are just cool. Oh, so much stuff to clean up. And very carefully get those sprue connections cut off. Yeah, I came across this video of somebody asking, like, how do you choose what faction to play? And I, along with apparently everyone else on TikTok, just said, go with the rule of cool. If you think it looks cool, that's the faction you go with. He's also asking about Dungeons and Dragons. Thank you for the likes, Biscuit. Appreciate it. He's also asking about Dungeons and Dragons, which on Twitch and YouTube, I stream that on Monday nights. TikTok is the only place I stream do the extra Warhammer streams. I just don't think, without being able to set up a whole bunch of stuff, trying to do Dungeons and Dragons on TikTok, I just don't think would work the same way it does on Twitch and YouTube, being able to use OBS. I wish I could get a stream key and go live through TikTok on OBS. That would be nice. But I have to use their weird creator software. But my computer seems to be able to keep up with it, and it's all good. All right. So let's get some glue on here. And we're using plastic cement right now. Later on, when I put the when I start painting the mini, I paint it in sections. So like certain pieces won't be glued, and once it's painted, the plastic glue doesn't work anymore, so I have to glue it the rest of the way with super glue. But I think you get a much nicer looking mini as a final result if you don't glue it all together from the start. You do sections, just because there are parts of minis that you can't paint if it's already glued together, like the intercessors that I'm going to get back to at some point. Their guns, their auto bolters, and cover their chest. And right there, that's why you have to be super careful if you're using plastic cement, because that's my fingerprint. I got some plastic cement on my fingertip. Fortunately, that is a hidden part of the model. No one will ever see that. But Definitely be very careful if you're using plastic cement, because it melts the plastic and you end up with like fingerprints melted into your model. So something to be aware of. And we'll just kind of do a little bit of cleanup here and there along that seam you just made. Just kind of smooth it all out. And I'll see if I can't shave my fingerprint back off of it. So it's not a world-ending event, but it is frustrating when stuff like that happens. But like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time on it because that part of the model will be covered up, because when you stick it together, that piece goes in there and you won't ever see it. So although I'm trying to decide, well, excuse me, trying to decide if I'm going to cut this nub off to turn the legs a little bit, because right now it's like one set pose that you can have them in, but we'll see when we get farther into the mini, because I'm not entirely sure how I want to have this thing standing. Okay, now we need to find 43, 44, and 45. Which that should be fun. It's always entertaining trying to find the next pieces of the mini. Okay, so see, and this is why it's a little annoying sometimes. You got 42, 42, 43, 44, and then all the way over here is 41. But that's not the one I need yet. I need 43, 44, and 45. So 43 is right here. That one. And here. Make sure you're not flinging pieces across the room while you're doing that. Okay, I just saw it. There it is. 45, this little strut piece. And again, back to cleaning up mold lines and the sprue connections. But just shaving off a little bit of plastic here and there. I'd like to welcome everybody in that keeps popping in. Yeah, I appreciate it when you stay for a while. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Like the video, share it with your friends if you're interested. Give me a follow if you're somewhat entertained. I know this isn't the most exciting part of the process, getting everything cut out and put together. but it is a necessary part of the process to get cool minis. Because once you get it all done, you end up with something that looks like that. And that's the way to go. I always keep one sitting on the desk that's easy to grab, so when folks are just, looking at this gray lump of plastic on my desk, I have something to show that, it's not going to stay like this. There is a final result at some point. And if you're not the biggest fan of watching on TikTok and you want other options for platforms to view, I'm also live on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So all platforms work. If you go over to Twitch, I've set up a community Discord that has a permanent link on my Twitch page. So you can give me a follow over there and join the Discord through Twitch. Okay. And then figure out which way is which. And this I have to be very careful with because you don't want to get glue on anything but this outer ring. And there's basically two little dimples in here that you put a drop of glue in and a drop of glue in, and keep your fingers crossed that it doesn't squeeze out and get anywhere else on the mini. Otherwise his leg won't move. And just kind of squeeze it together and keep things moving. The way I do it, just to make sure that it doesn't get stuck on this spindle piece. But make sure that this little piece keeps moving and make sure it continues to rotate around. It looks like we were successful in our endeavor. So that way I can move that to line it up wherever it ends up going. And then find the pieces I need for the other side. Which I know where the parts that go around are. I just don't know where the strut is. There's that one. Oh, this one only has 2 connections on it. I appreciate the fewer connections there, Games Workshop. You should make more of your pieces like that. And I need to figure out what the number is. I'm guessing the other one is 45 because I just saw it on another sprue. Sometimes you get lucky and you catch the piece that you need on another sprue without actually having to pick it up. But that's what we're looking for right there. Hopefully the music's not too loud. So on Twitch and YouTube, it's a lot easier to check because I can go back and watch the video. So I know the volume's not too loud on other platforms. It's just I don't really have a way to check on TikTok unless I ask you wonderful, beautiful people watching. Is the volume okay? And then nobody ever answers me. But it's fine. I just appreciate people coming by and watching me be a nerd. Okay, got that one. Welcome in, welcome in. Any likes to the live stream would be greatly appreciated. Get more engagement, get more viewers, get a better conversation started. Sorry, trying to get these little sprue connection points shaved off for a nice smooth finish on a very chunky boy. Although I'm trying to decide because it is such a big mini comparatively to a lot of the, your regular Space Marine guys. You're working with something this size, and it's like, comparatively, this guy is fairly small compared to just like the main torso section of the dreadnought. So I'm trying to decide if I should, use my standard, gray primer like I do on everything else, or go straight to a black primer and then lightly paint the Abaddon black, which is my main armor color, across it to get the same finish. Because different paints turn out differently, so the black primer may stand out if I didn't paint over it with the rest of the paint that I normally use. Like I said, it is a very, very large model compared to my normal Space Marines, so it is going to take more paint, and I'm considering saving some time by priming it black. Okay, and then once again, but nope, I'm going to wait until I've got the drop of glue in there so I don't melt anything. So, big divot, little divot. Drop the strut in. And squeeze it all together. And hope glue doesn't squirt out in any place I don't want it, to make sure these pieces continue to move somewhat freely. And they don't have to just flop around on there, but they do have to move. So thank you, Michael, for the follow. Appreciate it. Michael, sorry, I don't know how to say your last name. It kind of looks like lung, but I don't think that's right. but I appreciate the follow, and thanks for stopping in. Welcome in, welcome in. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Like I said, I'm also live on Twitch and YouTube if you have a preferred platform other than TikTok. As I said earlier, I do have a Discord link on my Twitch page. So I encourage people to, follow me on Twitch, join the Discord. If you're working on a mini, I have a channel on the Discord that you can share what you're working on. And one of these days, once I have enough stuff, I'm going to figure out how to, add those pictures to where they're easy to grab and just drag them in and say, like, this is what, Candy Crusher 5000 is working on this week, and look at his amazing Sisters of Battle, something like that. So definitely trying to build a community of folks that want to talk hobbies, whether it's Dungeons and Dragons or Warhammer or riding motorcycles. If you're riding motorcycles, it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. If I lean back a little or stand up, Harley Davidson shirt. All of my hobbies are expensive. It's ridiculous. I've got a, Harley Davidson Ultra Classic touring motorcycle right now. At some point, finances allowing, I'd like to trade it in on their adventure bike because that thing looks way too cool. But like I said, I've got a lot of hobbies and they're all expensive. Okay. Does this make sense to anybody? It's like, okay, you can either have the left foot forward or the right foot forward. You put your right foot in, you put your right foot out, you put your right foot in, and you shake it all about. Pardon me for being a dork. It's what I do. I think I want... That'd be his left foot forward. Of course, I'm a Marine, so, you always start off with the left foot. Left foot, kill foot, left foot, drill foot. So we will do this one. And you can't see it if you're vertical. We're going to do these legs. So looks like I need 55 and 61 and good Lord. Okay, these instructions are a little confusing. I'll just do this one, and then whatever comes up for this one, we'll figure it out. Okay, so let's knock over an intercessor, and then move him out of the way. Get a drink. Remember to stay hydrated. Drink stuff other than energy drinks. I'm a bad example. Drink water. Although I do have water as well. I have options. Okay. So looking for piece number 55. I guess it all depends on whether you put 55 or 46 at the top. I think. I don't know. What is going on? This is my first time trying to do a dreadnought, by the way, if you haven't figured that out. So we'll start off. We have piece number 55 here. I guess the only thing that's different is like which side you actually glue it on. Okay, that there. This has massive, chunky, ugly mold lines all over it. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's like that huge line going down the middle of it where the sprue is connected. Giant chunk. Always annoying having to clean up something that big. But we'll get it. Kind of lightly shave little chunks of plastic off. Fortunately, I have gray carpet in my office, so I can't see all this stuff all over the floor. And that helps keep the missus from getting upset with me for making a mess. Of course, sometimes she watches my live streams. She might be in here right now. You never know. And sometimes she'll try and sneak up behind me while I'm busy at work with my minis. I think right now she's playing with our puppies. I say puppies. One of my puppies is 13 years old and prefers to be a lump on my couch. The other puppy is a puppy. She's 6 or 8 months old now. A coworker found her in the middle of the highway, and I guess not the middle of the highway, off to the side of the highway, but along the highway nonetheless. And his manager was a little perturbed that he brought a little yappy puppy into the sales office. And so I'm a delivery driver. I walked over, picked up the puppy in the box, took it back to the dispatch office, told my dispatcher, "Here, you're babysitting today. I will take the puppy when I leave at the end of the day." And that's how I ended up with my other puppy. And somewhere lurking in the shadows, I have a lump of darkness, which is the kitty. But she's not very social. Although every once in a while she'll come and want to jump in my lap while I am live. So that may or may not happen. Okay, looking for piece number 58. If I was piece number 58 on a sprue, where would I be? Well, I need 57 too, so since it's staring me in the face, let's go ahead and grab that one. Okie dokie. So I need 58 and 56. There's 56. Very carefully remove this one. Trying to figure out what's actually sprue and what's actually part. Just a little frustrating sometimes. And the original piece I was looking for is still unseen. But I know it is around here somewhere. Not 83. Was it 58? 58. I mean, you have to give it to Games Workshop. They've done a pretty good job of like an exploded view of how someone would actually put one of these together. So, somebody with a lot of money, come on, make this happen. Can we get a actual functional dreadnought? Not to the extent where there's a person permanently inside of it, just one that walks around. There it is. It's turned sideways, so I was having trouble seeing it. Okay. Now I'm trying to see. Aha! It goes in here like such. That makes sense, I suppose. Okay, so when you put it together, it looks like that. Does that actually glue in there? Aha, it actually does. But how? Okay. So that makes more sense. So when it's put together, that's what it's going to look like. I think that's the back side of the leg. And then maybe. So confused. Or is it the other way? Which side is the front? Okay, so it'd be on this side, this way. No. Yes, no. Oh, I'm missing a piece. That's why I'm confused. Where did it say to get that piece at? There's like this whole other piece on there. What piece is that? You don't even put that on till this step. Why are you lying to me? Instructions. It shows it right there. It shows it on screen right there that it's attached to the thingy. But when you're putting it together, it's not attached. And it's all the way over here before you attach it. Why is it in that picture? Okay. So this is front. Where was I? What was I doing? Okay, I need to pop all this apart again because I need to clean these pieces up. Especially where these sprues were connected, because dear Lord, that's a connection chunk right there. Like I was saying earlier, come on, robot people, Boston Dynamics, whoever makes robots. I don't know, there's probably tons of them at this point. Make a functional dreadnought. I mean, look at all that space you got in there to put batteries to run the thing. Oh yeah, just keep working your way around, smoothing stuff out, making it pretty. Getting rid of those mold lines. Casting lines, mold lines, whatever you want to call them. Okay. Like I said, don't forget to like, share, and follow on the live. We try and be here every Tuesday and Thursday evening from around 7 to 10 p.m. Where did my music go? Have to make sure this playlist is on repeat properly, because I'm currently using royalty-free music by Harris Heller or Senpai Gaming. I always try and give a shout out when I can, because I did not make this music, but it is free for streamers to use while they're live or in YouTube videos if you create those. I think he's rebuilding the Stream Beats page. I'm not sure. I do know that the original Stream Beats page does not exist anymore. So hopefully that gets figured out sooner rather than later. I stream the music through my Spotify account, just so I have something to listen to while I'm working on my nerdy hobby stuff. Although, I know I will probably get some hate for this, but it is what it is. While, don't get me wrong, Harris Heller makes some really good music, or Stream Beats, Senpai Gaming, whichever way you know him or follow him on Twitch and YouTube. It's not always what I want to listen to, but it is. I just know that it's safe because it is royalty free. Which I went down a rabbit hole last night after my D&D session for potential for music while streaming. I started looking into AI generated music because it seems that technology has come quite a ways to where I might actually start making some AI generated music for streaming. Something more in the genre that I'm interested in, and potentially others. And of course, if I get that done, it does require a subscription service to an AI music generator to be able to have the rights to post it on Spotify and YouTube and whatnot. But if I go that route, here's my verbal promise now. It will be free for anybody to use that music, because I didn't actually make it. I would have used a computer system to generate it. And I do know people work very hard in the music industry and are very creative, and I'm thankful for the things that have come before music wise. But some of us just don't have the time nor the talent to be able to do that ourselves. So AI generated music, I think, is going to be a very valuable tool for content creators when it comes to adding music or soundtracks to projects that they produce. Because I am still coming on here, showcasing some of my talents to make to put together these minis, to do the painting on them. I would just like to have more thematic music than just kind of my chill out and paint music that I use from Spotify, from Harris Heller, Senpai Gaming, used to be Alpha Gaming, I believe. But like I said, I appreciate what he has done for the YouTube community. There's just things I would like to be able to do musically that I don't have the time nor the talent to do it all on my own, and so AI is definitely a viable option to achieve those goals. Okay, and then this piece is gonna have to slide down in there. I'm even missing a piece still. I need 61. Okay, so this goes in there like that. Okay. So before I find 61, and 61 may be one of those pieces I don't glue on until the very end. But let's get our glue dribbles in here. And we have most of the leg. And some little spots here and there that I see need to clean up these mold lines. I guess it's not as important on gears and stuff. Just to add, might add a little bit of extra depth to them. But we're trying to keep this thing as clean looking as possible. I foresee extensive dry brushing in my future. So 61, where are you? Are you under my finger? No, that is not 61. 61 is over here. Okay. Got that one, and that one. And we shall continue our cleanup on these parts. And once again, I'd like to welcome everybody that stops in. I appreciate any likes or shares. Any comment or conversation is also greatly appreciated. And as people hop in and hop out, I do like to remind everybody I am also live on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. I do have a Discord link for a community Discord on my Twitch page. So if you'd like to go by Twitch, and there's a permanent link to my Discord on there. I just started it not that long ago, so there's not a whole lot there yet. So I do have a section set up for viewers to share minis that they finished, minis that they're working on, and from time to time, with their permission, of course, I would, like to showcase, the work of others on the stream. And that is going to be a glued on later piece. Because I would like to be able to get in there and get all that painted. As I know once this is on here, once I glue this piece on, you're not going to be able to see all this detail under here. But me being the way I am, I'm going to save this piece off to the side to glue on later. That way I can get all these details painted and have it look all fancy. Even though, like I said, it's covered up, no one's ever going to see it. Like, nobody's going to be picking up my mini and like looking at it this close. It's just extra little detail that I like to do. So, until that happens, we have our friendly, gooey sticky tack. And we'll put a little blob of sticky tack right there. And then push this piece on so it holds it in place while we work on the mini. Like I said, it won't stay like that. It's just there for show right now. But that is leg number 1 done. Well, almost leg number 1 done. And that goes on this side, so we'll set it off to that side of the mini. And I know I need this piece next. Why is that connection so big? Urgh. See, I hate when they do like this big blob of a connection there because it's so hard to get it cleaned up. I know that you can get like some special resin glue, gap filler that you can put on there to help smooth it out. I think I actually have some in the other room. I just don't want to go get it. I know I need this piece. So, snip, snip, snip. Get that piece set off to the side, because we will need it later. See, why are these two right next to each other and I had to go searching for the other two? It's so frustrating. See, all three of them. 40, 47, 48, and 49. All right next to each other, where the other leg, they're all over the place. And I know the logical explanation, well, that's how they have to do it to fit it all on the sprues. Well, I understand that's how they have to do it to fit it all on the sprues, but it's still annoying. That piece, that piece. Those ones, that one, and that one. We'll finish the other leg. Okie dokie. We shall continue our progress. Very carefully shaving little bits of plastic off here and there, trying to get a smooth finish on the plastic. Oh, seriously? This is the annoying thing about TikTok. Every once in a while, TikTok thinks that I've gone AFK because I haven't, constantly got word vomit coming out. And they'll pause my stream and say that you must not be doing anything because I'm trying to focus on not gouging the crap out of the plastic on my Mini. Or painting a very tiny detail that I don't want to mess up. But not YouTube, but TikTok's like, oh, you're not doing anything, we're going to pause your stream. Quit it. But as frustrating as TikTok can be sometimes, I do appreciate it being a platform where I can attempt to engage with people of similar interests and bring the hobby to other people and build a community. Like I said, we're working on moving that community across multiple platforms, whether it's Twitch or YouTube or TikTok. We're live everywhere. Now, some platforms have other benefits that TikTok doesn't have. I suppose I should figure out how to do like the link tree thing. That way, on TikTok, I can share a link tree to all the other social media platforms, whether it's my Discord or my Twitch or YouTube. Because all my videos, all my TikToks that I do, I post my streaming schedule and there, write down what the link to my Twitch page is. But there's not a quick, easy, direct over to, let's say, YouTube to follow me over there for D&D streams, or Twitch for my D&D streams. Because like I said, TikTok's just not the practical place to try and stream Dungeons and Dragons. But it does work for, little stuff like this. Oh, thank you for the likes, not just a mom. Welcome into the stream. I appreciate it. If you're interested, you can also find me on Twitch and YouTube. If you do go over to my Twitch page, I do have a permanent Discord link set up. I'm trying to grow a Discord community where people can share what they're working on, and at some point I will get things set up to share other people's projects live on stream with their permission, of course. We'll do some like work in progress days, or do a people showcasing the minis they completed that week, if they're so interested in doing so. But like I said, the easiest way to do that is over my Twitch page, same username. I think there's in the comments of all my videos it has my Twitch link. I don't know if the Twitch link is in my bio or not. It should be, but TikTok's a little confusing, especially when it comes to getting people linked to other platforms, because of course TikTok needs viewers on its own platform so they can grow. But some other platforms also offer a better experience, like YouTube, for instance, being able to pause a live stream and then watch it at your own convenience. I do that every day when I'm at work. I'll be watching a live stream or listening to a live stream at work, and I'll have to take a minute to talk to somebody. I can pause it and then come back to it, and I won't have missed a thing because I can just unpause it and pick up where I left off, which is the advantage of YouTube. TikTok, like I said, it has links to all my other social media stuff, whether it's Instagram or Discord. So Twitch helps me get people around easier, but I do get a lot of views from TikTok, which is why I go everywhere. Again, thank you for all the likes, very much appreciated. Definitely helps encourage more people to come in and watch what's going on with the stream while I'm building my army of little plastic people. But we're just gonna get some of our plastic cement on here. Try not to get too crazy, because I don't need my fingerprints melted into parts of the Mini like I did earlier. That's frustrating. But these lines on the top of that piece are my fingerprint, because I got a little crazy with my plastic cement. But it happens, and like I said, that piece is hidden, so no one's ever going to see it. Kind of clean up these seams a little bit. I was talking about earlier some other projects I'm working on and thinking about starting. Of course, I do Dungeons and Dragons streams on Twitch and YouTube. TikTok, I'm sorry, it's just not practical for that. But I do Dungeons and Dragons streams on Monday nights with a group of friends. We've been playing together for years. Tuesdays and Thursdays are usually either hobby time, doing minis, either putting together or painting them. This is the first one I'm actually putting together on stream. It's also one of the most complex ones I've ever put together. But some days I'll also be playing video games, because I do like playing video games. It was a video game that got me back into wanting to play Warhammer again. The Space Marine 2 game, way too much fun. Maybe a little bit graphic for small children, but way too much fun. And while I do enjoy the music I'm listening to now, it doesn't always fit the theme of what I'm doing. So, like I said earlier, I know some people are going to cringe when I say this, but AI generated music has come a long way, and I think I'm going to look into possibly making AI generated music for listening to while on stream. And if it goes well, and I figure out how to do it, from what I understand, in certain instances you can share your AI generated music to Spotify. I would create playlists for other people to use, but like I said, that is a project for down the road. My thing that would require a little bit more viewer support because I'm working on a tight budget, especially this year. Because I already have a fairly significant vacation planned for myself and the missus for our anniversary this year. But anything that I make from live streaming, goes right back into the stream, into creating content, providing stuff for a better viewing experience. Someone was watching me on Twitch one night, and of course I, instantly followed him back. So if you have a chance, go check out Spoon Handle. I think he's got a TikTok channel, and of course he's on Twitch as well. Gave me a donation on Twitch, and that donation on Twitch bought the arm that this camera is sitting on. So anything that, any bonus income from streaming goes back into streaming for a better experience for you folks watching. I said, this is a hobby. I don't do this for money. I do this for fun. But, should it generate any amount of income, it goes back into, making sure that the viewers enjoy the experience. I'm not going to ask you guys to, help me buy a new car. No. No, this is a hobby. This is my fun time. And believe me, I have other hobbies that are way more expensive than this one. And that is called riding motorcycles. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You have a good night as well. Thank you, not just a mom. I know you're already gone. But that should have our legs almost done. Okay, so this one's going to go on this side. They look like they're just straightforward. I don't understand. I don't know, maybe when I get them glued on there, it'll look different. Maybe, possibly. Oh, that feels like it sunk in there better. I think that's way too far back. Let's go back a notch. We're working through it. Getting very confused by these legs. Okay, I think that's right. And of course I'm not gluing all the parts together, so that's causing extra confusion. Okay, how's this going here? That's going to be way too far forward, so take it down a notch. I think I've got... Oh no! No. I'm breaking stuff now. Trying to figure this out. Ah. Sorry, I'm just very confused because it's like... Alright. This is a problem because this came apart and I had to be very careful with this and glue this back together. So I have to keep this piece moving so I don't glue it solid onto this hip joint. But it also just came apart on me. So frustrating. It's like I don't want him to look like he's just, standing straight up. I thought there was more of a dynamic pose to it. But like that, one leg is just entirely too far forward. But that's too far back. I mean, he'd look like he's running. Am I trying to put these on the wrong sides? Is that what's going on? Okay, that looks like it's back a little bit. Yep, I'm just a dum-dum. I'm trying to put the legs on the wrong side. That's more how the pose should be. So frustrating. Okay. And now I've got the legs sorted out onto the correct side to how it should look. I am going to get these glued together. The question is, turn that forward a little bit. No, you have to do it all at the same time. So make sure end of that strut is in there. Like that. This is nerve-wracking. Because, like, once I glue this, that's it. It's permanent. Okay, I know I gotta get some done in there for that strut to go into. That's it. It's set in stone. Or I guess I should say set in plastic. That's how it's gonna be. So make sure that strut glues in as well. Can't tell if it is or not. Because I definitely don't want that thing flopping around while I'm trying to paint it. So very carefully put like a little drop of glue in there. And hold it down. Okay. Don't touch it. You'll mess something up. All right, I need to take this piece off again. I was holding them on with sticky tack, but it's just stuff is moving while I'm trying to glue, and it's just not doing it for me. Okay. So that should be where that's gonna go. Let's get our glue in here. And give it a good old squeeze. Oh, sound like a bowl of Rice Krispie treats right now. A bowl of Rice Krispies, not treats. Very carefully apply some more glue. And press the strut down so it fuses. And we have legs. A perfectly functional pair of legs for our dreadnought. Minus the feet. And we will sticky tack this front cap back on. Getting there. Okay, 64 is our first foot. So let's get this clipped out of here very carefully. What time is it? Almost 9 o'clock. 8:45. Get our little sprue connections cleaned up again. That is the most in-depth part of what we're doing now. Is every time we clip one of these pieces off the sprue, gotta clean up those sprue connections and all the mold lines, kind of shaving away little by little, smoothing it out. And that is going to be this foot, apparently. Okay, I'm confused. I may have to take this little nub off of here because it doesn't seem like it's sitting in the foot very well to have a flat stance. I don't think I did anything wrong, but I don't know. I've never done a dreadnought before. Let me find his other foot. Where are you, other foot? No, because once again, I'm putting the foot on the wrong one. So I need 65. Where is piece 65? Arr. 65. Here we go. Yeah, I definitely picked the most complex mini I own to do live on stream. Sitting here questioning myself, oh, did I get everything set up on stream right? Can people hear me? And obviously they can, because I can hear myself behind me. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Because there we go. Legs are standing. That's better. Much better. I'm doing it right. I'm sitting here freaking myself out. It's like, did I glue something together wrong? What is going on here? But that definitely looks right. But this part is going to take I think what I'm going to have to do is glue as it stands and then add the other pieces. Yeah, I'm sorry this is a little confusing on this mini. Because I definitely want to get the feet right. Why did they do it this way? Where is your toe? 66. There's your front of your toe. Where'd my clippers go? Welcome in. Enjoy my confusion. I appreciate you all watching. It is okay to laugh at me while I sit here confused and don't exactly know what I'm doing. This is my first attempt at a dreadnought. It definitely will not be my last, because I think I need 2 or 3 of these for my army. I don't know. Haven't decided. But as you can see in the corner of the screen, I think it's on everything. Yes. Working on a Brutalis dreadnought, which can be seen in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Whether you're viewing vertically or horizontally. And I'm talking about your phone. I mean, of course, some of you could be laying in bed and be watching horizontally. To each their own. Just try not to, watch this while you're driving. I don't want somebody to wreck their vehicle and incapacitate themselves because they're trying to figure out what this dum-dum on Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, whatever you're watching on is trying to do with a confusing piece of plastic. But I do appreciate everybody stopping in, saying hi, giving a little wave. You know, give a like if you feel I deserve it. Okay. I mean, I know I'm not going to have these toes gripping anything. And he's not in that dynamic of a pose. Why do you have to be so difficult, Dreadnought? Right. Toes front. Oh my god. I mean, do I just... I don't understand. Okay. I need just the teeniest, tiniest amount of sticky tack. Get in there. For reference, that one and that one. And again, teeny tiny amount of sticky tack. I'm sorry, I'm experiencing technical difficulties. So no, not like that. Not like that. Pivot the foot out like that. It should be... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out how to put the feet on, and it's being difficult, and so I'm like looking at it super close and just being confused. Hey, Spoon Handle, how's it going? I was talking about you earlier. This is my first attempt at a dreadnought, and I'm very confused with the feet. I don't want to glue anything together yet until I know how these go on. Because like as soon as I try and put the toe on, his other foot pops up over here. And my sticky tack is being stupid. Why? Because I sit here and I play with it all the time. Okay, so I suppose I could have it like that, where he's looks like he's running, but that's putting a lot of faith in the glue that holds this thing down. Screw it. That's how I'm going to do it. He's going to be running at something. Okay. So, let me clear the sticky tack off of the mini, because I'm about to glue that down there and make it a permanent decision. Okay. So that's how it was, I think. Oh, get out of the way. Stupid thing. I'm so nervous about gluing this down. Double check how this looks on here. I think that's how it's going to be. Glue at the ready. Alright, here we go. A nice little puddle down there in the bottom. All right. As I beat up my dreadnought. I can't say that I'd fully intended on doing an action pose. Why are you still moving? But that's what we're ending up with. And this other toe is not going to touch the ground at all. I think that's how it's going to end up on the base. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, I apologize for the quality of this evening's stream. I said I'm getting confused and confounded. But it's all good. We're enjoying our hobby time. Making sure we got enough plastic cement on here to get our chemical reaction going. It's going to take a little extra effort. Sorry, I'm going to get my head in the way. But I need this guy very well stuck down on his base. I'm trying to be very careful not to get any of this glue, plastic cement, on my fingers during this part of the process. But I need him to melt into the base a little bit so he stays put. Applying a little extra pressure, making sure he melts down into the plastic. Because this is pretty much all that's going to hold this guy on is this 1 foot. I mean, not pretty much. It is all that's going to hold him on because that's all that's touching the base. So try and make sure get some really good blobs of this plastic cement in here. That way this all melts together and becomes one solid chunk of plastic. Making sure I'm not getting any of the plastic cement on my fingers and touching the nice parts of the model. Sorry for getting off screen, but this is rough. Okay. I think that's got us secured to the base. At least I hope. Doesn't seem to be coming loose. But that's where we're at. And put this back together real quick. Like there's a lot of this mini that is not glued together. Just for my painting preference. Okay, and that's what we're working with so far. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a running pose going on. Oh, this is going to take forever. Okay, let's get that popped back on there with the pew-pews up top. There we go. That's how we're looking. Hopefully the arms cooperate in the pose. I said I hadn't really intended on doing like a big action pose, but that's just what we ended up with because I don't know what I'm doing. Let's put your knee pad back on. Some parts are stuck on with sticky tack. Some parts are just press fit together. I mean, most of them's glued. All right, let's get your toe glued on here. Dab a little glue in here. And stick his toe on. I don't even think I've glued this foot on yet. So tilt that down just a bit. All right. Where are the supports for the sides of his feet? Two parts labeled 67. Oh, look at you, Gears Workshop. Putting them right together where they're supposed to be. Thank you so much. Gears Workshop. Games Workshop. What am I talking about? Oh, man. What a frustrating model. But he is going to look cool when he's done. Okay, since this is not actually glued on here, I pop this off for a second. The puppy is learning the I want to go outside doorbell. So if you hear that in the background, that's what that is. There's not somebody actually at my house wanting in. It is my puppy wanting out. I think this will be a little bit easier to glue this together if I'm not dinking with it attached to the bottom of his ankle there. Alright, you scoot over there for a second while I clean up this mold line. Oh, I'll be so glad when this guy's glued together and I can prime him. And then we can get to painting it. And then that's the fun part. Okie dokie. It is that time of year again where I need to start remembering to take allergy pills because I'm getting kind of stuffed up. Never had allergies when I was younger. Now I'm old and allergies. Dumb. So very, very dumb. So if you don't have allergies in your youth, enjoy your allergy-free youth. One day you will get old and get allergies, and weather makes everything hurt. But at the same time, remember, you have to get older. You never have to grow up. Me, for example, I'm a massive overgrown child. Okie dokie. Couple of drops of glue. So we're going to have these, little toe pads kind of folded in a little bit because the foot is off the ground. Not intentionally, that's just how he turned out. So, like Bob Ross says, had a happy little accident on that one. Just make sure your happy little accidents aren't in your pants. Alrighty. And fold it in on this side. For the toe pads. Oh, I said I sound like a box of Rice Krispies. Just snap, crackle, pop. Okay. And since we're already at the point of no return, we're going to load up this socket with some glue. And attach his other foot. So I'm pretty sure that's gotten a good weld on there. But there we go. We have some dreadnought legs. That we can combine with our dreadnought torso. So definitely making some good progress on this guy tonight. All right. And because I want to grab a little bit of sticky tack. Not that much sticky tack. Sticky tack, blue tack, poster tack, whatever you want to call it, is an incredible thing when you're building minis, especially if you do sub-assemblies before painting, because now, even though he's not glued together, just make sure I don't get too crazy with him and kind of show him off in almost a completed piece. First, we got his guns up top. Okay, where are we at in space and time? It's 9:21. Let's get a drink. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I had my microphone a little close to my face earlier. Somebody was complaining about intense breathing because I'm all hunched over my mini and like really focusing on trying to get this thing put together. Oh dear Lord, there's all sorts of leg armor pieces that I haven't put on yet. I thought I was done with the legs. Oh man. Well, we will continue on that. Let's see, 40, piece number 40. Where did my nippers go? And here I am thinking, oh, I'm done with the legs. Nope, just joking. You have 57 pieces of armor to put on the legs. And some of these will be glued on, some of them will be stuck on with sticky tack until I get parts of it painted. As some of the armor pieces go over these gears and whatnot, cover them up, I like to paint that stuff ahead of time, so armor pieces will be stuck on with sticky tack. I can't talk, apparently. Some pieces will be stuck on with sticky tack until the painting process is done. Like, I'll pull parts off and paint them individually. Just have to remember where everything goes, which shouldn't be too hard, assuming I, don't lose my instruction booklet. But just shaving these sprue connections down as usual. That way we have a nice smooth surface to paint when we get to that point, which I'm hoping will be Thursday. But I have to finish putting this guy together, and it's taking a while. Got some more mold lines across the back here. Okay. And I have to pull this back off again as everything falls apart, because I need to be able to see what I'm doing without the interference of his upper torso. So that will go on there. Simple enough. Let's try and like super hidden parts like this. I'll use a little extra glue to puddle in there, because if it squeezes out a little bit, it's hidden under another piece, so I don't have to worry about it as much. Okay. And 62 and 63. Let's find those real quick. Got 63 right here. Carefully snip this out of here. I always get nervous when I'm clipping out a small piece because I don't want it to go flying. And this is why we use sticky tack during sub-assemblies, because this would be very hard to get in there with that armor piece on. So So just kind of, because it's very hard to see, but there's a teeny tiny notch at the top of this. It's not a complete circle. There you go. You can see that notch now. But that lines up with another piece to make sure you get this one on straight. And if that front leg armor was permanently attached, it'd be very difficult to get that on there. So put a little drop right there. And this is one of those pieces where you might want to use tweezers to get it into place. But it looks like we got it to drop in there right. You gonna stick on there? Please and thank you. Can't tell if it's gluing or not. And it is not. Oh, about had a panic attack. Okay. So I thought those were rivets that were going to be visible. They are not. They are alignment dots. So I don't have to worry about getting glue on them. So now that tiny little piece is right there. Okay, so that was 63. Let's find 62. Now that we know that one's on there. 62. Found it. This one does not have a little notch on it, but it does have the little alignment dimples in the back of it. And it should line up with, yeah, lines up with the little notches in the outside plate pieces. It's got a beveled back edge, so I have to be really careful cleaning up the sprue connection. Yeah, we're gonna have at least one more day of assembly on this, because that's definitely gonna be a thing. Again, try not to go too crazy with the plastic cement, but make sure you've got enough on there to get the job done. little bit of cleanup on that once it dries and sets. Okay, so 60. Oh, this is such a drawn out process. Not gonna press fit on there. Nope, it has little alignment knobs. Okay. So that's going to be another one that will be glued on after painting is complete, because there's no way I can get a brush in under that to paint. This guy's gonna have so much sticky tack on him, it's gonna be ridiculous. Just holding things together. We're just trying to get a representation of what it's going to look like when it's assembled. That's why I keep using sticky tack all over the place. Let's see here. And of course I did that and I didn't clean up the mold lines. So I'm going to have to pop it back off and fix that. Not that it's a huge deal. But I'll just take care of this real quick. Just back and forth a few times. Use a little bit of pressure. You don't have to be super delicate with it. Just make sure you're going straight across it, not back and forth, because you don't want to cut it, you want to shave it. And like I said, you're going to get little flakes of gray plastic everywhere doing that. All right. Make sure a little bit of sticky tack is on the very edge. Trying to get it to line up with the nubs in there. Seriously? I am experiencing technical difficulties with this mini. It has been fighting me the whole time. There we go. So ignore the sticky tack, but there you go. Got little armor plates on the outsides of the legs. And somewhere there's one of them. $50 goes on the right leg, and it'll help hide the sticky tack temporarily. Like I said, we're gonna have lots of individual little pieces that aren't actually glued to this mini before we start painting it. And then I have to remember which piece is which throughout the painting process to make sure I get everything glued back on in the right spot when I do get to that phase. Some very faint mold lines right there. Just taking care of those. And like I said earlier, if you're interested on viewing on any other platforms, I am currently live on Twitch and YouTube. If you want to go back and watch the entirety of this stream, which I'll admit it's going to be kind of boring. There's been a lot of downtime trying to figure this thing out. Regardless, it'll be on my YouTube page. I mean, you can just look up my screen name. I use the same screen name everywhere. Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Xbox. Yeah, I am Dune Gunner everywhere. Or I guess I should say it right. Dune_Gunner. On basically every single platform. Okay. Why are you being like this? Alright. And I know I don't have to be super precise right now because half of this model is held together with sticky tack, not super glue. I just want a good representation of what has been accomplished this evening. There we go. Alright. Although I do need to pop this piece off again to clean up mold lines. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do model assembly live again. But I guess if I don't do it live, I don't know when I'll have time to do it. So it's a double-edged sword. Because this is not the most entertaining content. I am well aware of that. But I do appreciate you stopping in and hanging out. Any likes on the stream would be appreciated, but not required. No. If you have any questions, let me know. I will try to answer them. Excuse me. If it is in my general knowledge base. Although my ability to remember random stupid stuff is a little on the ridiculous side. Because things just happen to get stuck in my head for all eternity. Like, what is binomial nomenclature and who created it? Binomial nomenclature is the use of the genus and species name to identify an animal developed by Carol Linnaeus. Why do I know that? I have no idea. Random crap stuck in my head for all eternity. It's like, come on, it's a fender. Where the heck is it at? Anyway. I guess if you're a science major, you'd need to know that. Or biology major. But yeah, just tons of random trivia stuck in my head. What was my topic for high school debate? Went from, 25 some odd years ago now or more. Word for word, the government should establish a policy to substantially increase renewable energy use in the United States. Why do I remember that 20 some odd years later? And my debate teacher even told me that is going to be stuck in your head for the rest of your life. And she wasn't lying. It has been stuck in my head for 20 some odd years. Word for word. Come on, get off of there. Okie dokie. Need another small piece of sticky tack so I can put its fender on. I'm gonna call it a fender because I'm a car guy. I mean, not really a car guy, but I somewhat work in the automotive industry, so it makes sense for me to call it what I would know it as. Okay, that piece there, all the sticky tack all over the place all the time. All right. Oh, I got so many other pieces. 53 and 54. What just fell? Okay, 54. At least this one I get to glue on. But it is a good learning experience for how to put these things together. But oh man, does it take a while. See, and this is why, one of the reasons why I don't see myself ever doing commissions. I've been working on just the legs, for this model for nearly 3 hours. That's how long this takes. And there's people out there, it's like, oh yeah, just send me the stuff, I'll paint it, you know, put it together for you and paint it for you. For, you know, some of these guys, it seems like almost nothing for just the painting of the mini. Like there's no way I would spend that much time on something for like $10 a mini. And that's what you have to intensely enjoy the hobby to do it for that. I mean, you just have to like putting minis together. That's all I can say. Now, maybe the guys that charge lower amounts like that for commissions, maybe they require the mini to be assembled first. I have no idea. I haven't even looked at doing commission work just because of the amount of time I've spent on my own minis. That and putting these things together, there's a little bit of pride in being able to say, yeah, I did that. I put the whole thing together, I painted the whole thing. I don't understand the people that I mean, I guess if you got the money and you have somebody who has the time to paint them for you. But I think that's a major part of the hobby is, learning how to put these things together, getting them put together. And, I paint mine to like a high level of detail that, I know is overboard and excessive, that your average player isn't going to take the time to do that. But, you have some guys out there that are meta chasers. They go through a new army, 2 or 3 times a year, and they just, because they don't have time to paint all that, they'll just pay somebody to do it. Which, I mean, if you can do that, more power to you. But I like the sense of pride in saying, yeah, I bought all these boxes of gray plastic. I spent hours putting them together. I spent hours painting them. These are all mine. 100% I did it. But again, like I said, to each their own. Oh, please don't tell me there's more that are supposed to go on the inside of the kneecap. Doesn't look like it. Okay, after a 3-hour stream, I think I have a pair of legs. Yep, that's it. 1 pair of dreadnought legs. Minus 1 piece, because I just looked at it again. And I know I've seen that piece. One last piece. And this one I am actually going to glue on because I don't think there's that much detail underneath it that I would need to paint. pulled it up real quick. Yeah, I can see there's a couple rivets up top. There's two more down in there farther, but if the two rivets right there don't get painted, absolutely no one is ever going to see those. I know I'm being ridiculous on the gears, on the legs, but that's me. It's my mini. I can do it. I can do it that way if I want to. Okay. Can I get this done and glued on in the next 5 minutes? Because that's usually about the time I stop streaming. I go from 7 to 10 Tuesdays and Thursday nights Central Time. If you're sitting here watching, it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But I guess if it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you'd have to be, what, in China or something? Ni hao, viewer. Anyway. Yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 to 10 p.m. Central Time is usually when I'm live doing gaming or hobby stuff. Monday nights, 7:30 to 10 is my D&D night. We're currently running the Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign from 5th edition. We're pretty far into it. I think we've been playing that campaign for a couple of years because we only play for a couple hours once a week, if that actually happens. But if you're interested in watching a bunch of folks playing a D&D campaign, I said we're live doing that Monday nights on Twitch and YouTube. All previous episodes except for first couple I didn't get to live stream, and I had a computer failure a few weeks ago, a couple months ago maybe. My computer died, and so we missed a week there. But every other episode that we've done that I've streamed can be found on YouTube. There's a few up on Rumble. It's a massive pain in the butt to get them up over there, so only like the first 15 or so episodes, and we're at 60 sessions now. But yeah, YouTube is the best resource for that. You can find me over there. Like I said, I go live on Twitch and YouTube Monday nights for D&D, Tuesdays and Thursdays, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok for mostly hobby stuff, painting minis, assembling minis. You can follow me. You'll get notified when I go live on TikTok. Hopefully Twitch does. And if you're watching on Twitch, or you go find my Twitch page, there's a link to my Discord where I've gotten that all worked out. Just kind of a basic setup for people to share what they're working on. I post progress pictures over there, but if you follow me on Twitch, there's also a link over there for a Discord page, and you can follow my or join my Discord and get more notifications, whether I'm posting new TikToks or going live on Twitch or making a YouTube video, whatever, all that shows up over there on the Discord, and should send notifications as well. So yeah, that's about it. This is the progress we made tonight. We've got a pair of legs for the dreadnought. Like I said, originally I did not intend on doing an action pose, but that's just kind of how we ended up. Let me grab a little blob of sticky tack to stick in here. And you know what? I'm tired of this Melta falling out, so it's going to get a blob of sticky tack too. Right back here. And we're going to stuff the Melta back in with a blob of sticky tack. And there we go. That is where we're at so far. So Thursday, we're going to be working on the arms apparently. So come back on Thursday for more mini assembly on the dreadnought, and once I get them all assembled, I'll get them primed up and we should start painting soon. So hope to see you guys for the next one. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, and we will pick up on Thursday. I'm gonna get some pictures taken, make a quick TikTok video from the progress that we made tonight, and we will see you all next time. So I'm gonna go ahead and start signing off everything, starting with Twitch and YouTube, because I got a fancy button over here that changes my screen to say stream ending. Enjoy the music for the next couple minutes.